Welcome back to the Tech 1-2 podcast. I'm John Kampas, founder and CEO of EMPIST. So excited about being back in the studio, talking about our origin story, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Be sure to tune in to learn more.
All right, microphone Tech 1-2. What is this? This is the Tech 1-2 podcast powered by EMPIST. I am beyond thrilled to be here today. My name is John Morris, and I'm riding in the captain's chair today. We are going to be interviewing the one and only John Kampas. He is the CEO and founder of EMPIST. If you don't know what EMPIST is, what are we doing? It's time to wake up. They are the best IT company in the land, my friend. So, without further ado, the one and only John Kampas. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, John. I am beyond excited to be here today.
Right?
Back in the studio. Look at this. Revamped studio 2026. So excited to get this started.
All right, so you're an IT company where we got to send a shout out to your marketing people.
Oh, yes.
My gosh, Marty and the squad, Zach, Katie, they have absolutely crushed it in here. The studio looks brilliant.
Absolutely beyond what I expected. From where it was today, we have to put up a shot for the before and after of this room so that everybody can see the amazing work that the marketing team did. I'm so excited.
They absolutely crushed it. So how you do one thing is an indication of how you do everything.
Absolutely.
So if your marketing team does that, then I can only imagine what the IT folks are doing for companies. But we'll get into that. Today we want to talk to you a little bit about why are we doing a relaunch of this podcast. If you check out the YouTube channel, you'll see that there have been episodes up, but we've decided that we're going to collaborate together, and we need to tell the EMPIST story. But that EMPIST story starts with John, and I want to just kind of go in the Wayback Machine and talk a little bit about, tell me a little bit about childhood, because typically when you get into tech, it starts early. So what was a day in the life of John Kampas, let's say early teenage years, when you started to find technology and discover that?
Early teenage years, wow. So I didn't start picking up technology until I took my first finance class at college.
Really?
Yes. So, yes, I dabbled in technology. I mean, we understand, gaming and technology when I was younger. But I took my first finance class at Loyola. And I hated it. I said, this is not for me. This is something that I just can't get behind. Not that I'm, discounting at all what finance degrees and everything can do. It wasn't for me.
Wasn't your vibe.
I just didn't feel it.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel it. I dreaded every day, each class I was taking, and I'm like, this isn't for me.
You can't operate that way.
So I said, you know what? What do I have some passion around? What do I love doing? And I took a tech class. I took in management information systems. I took my first class, system analysis and design, and I'm like, I love this. It felt so effortless for me.
Yeah.
It felt so effortless just getting started and just learning, and I was absorbing everything at what felt at a very fast and rapid pace.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm on to something.
Curious, what did you feel? Because were you having like a beautiful mind moment? You're like, why is this all connecting? Or like, what did you feel? You're like, hey, this is super interesting.
It just made sense.
Okay.
It just made sense. It wasn't like I was looking for what's the reasoning behind this or that. It just all made sense. And around that time, believe it or not, you say way back when, and then even just starting the company and the origin of the company, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Oh, we're getting into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But it just made sense. And, when you get behind something and you're passionate about it, you love doing it. Like, it's your why. It made sense. And I just started focusing on that. I remember at the time speaking with my, at the time, girlfriend, now wife, about it. And she's like, man, the way you're talking about this technology now, like, you could see the passion in your eyes, and I knew it was the right thing to do.
That's amazing. By the way, if you're playing along, it's www.empist.com, so you can check that out, and you will see, like, once again, the marketing team is crushing it. The website is fantastic. So you feel it in your heart. You feel the vibes. It's a lot easier to get behind something when you have a passion for it. Where's the first gig? So where do you take this degree from Loyola, right? And where do you land right out of college?
So while I was in college, I actually did an internship as well, and I was doing a lot of preparation back. It's crazy to think about when I started this, at 25 years ago, and right now I'm only 30 years old. It's crazy.
It's amazing. 5 years old. He was in college.
5 years old.
We are sitting here with the IT Doogie Howser.
So, there was a lot of Y2K preparation. So it was around, 98, 99, 2000 Y2K preparation. When I started the business and I started my first official career, I started at a company which was called Exodus Communications. Exodus Communications, most people know Exodus today because they lost a lot of money because they went through the dot-com boom and the dot-com bust. So there were a lot of paper millionaires at the time. Stock options, people were driving Ferraris. And then when things tanked,
I'll pay for it later.
I'll pay for the taxes later.
Yeah.
And tax period came, and they had to sell those nice, beautiful things that they had purchased. So, it was an amazing experience for me. Why? Because, 1 out of every 3 clicks of the internet went through one of the Exodus data centers.
Wow.
So this is, again, dot-com boom, dot-com bust, major companies. For me, I gained so much experience just starting off my career there. In a very short amount of time, I was operating and managing one of the largest clients for Exodus and had an entire team, lived on the data center floor, essentially in the data centers, got a lot of experience. And I saw that everybody was focused on the enterprise. Everybody's focused on the enterprise. But what about the businesses that make up the majority of not just the United States, but worldwide businesses?
Small to mid-size. Everyone's out there hunting elephants, man, and
Exactly.
there's a lot you could hunt some goats and some rabbits. There's all kinds of things.
Exactly. So I saw this opportunity, and I saw, if everybody's focused on the enterprise, just what if, you could bring the enterprise solutions to the small and medium-sized businesses? And that's where it all started for me, and that's where I started the journey of starting EMPIST.
So you wanted to provide the products and services that the elite businesses would require and demand, but you wanted to bring that to the small to mid-sized market who maybe was kind of getting less attention. They weren't the big portfolio account, so they might be getting the junior IT person. You said, no, that's not going to happen. We're going to bring elite service and high levels of technology to the small to mid-sized company and treat them like they deserve to be treated.
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay, so I'm curious, what does the word EMPIST mean? We know that you're Greek. We know that. So tell us what the word EMPIST means and why did you decide to name the company EMPIST?
Sure. So a little bit of history on the name. So we actually rebranded in 2017. So when I started the business back in 2000, which, just touching on that story for a moment, $500 in a laptop, it was just me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I had a passion. I knew what I wanted to do. I grew up in an entrepreneurial household. My dad never wanted me to stay in the business that he was in, which was restaurant. Go figure.
Yeah.
Greeks and restaurants. But he wanted, as any parent wants, their children to do more than what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad and mom were always like proponents, and they wanted us to do more, me and my sister. So when I saw this opportunity, especially during the dot-com boom and the dot-com bust, I said, look, what do I need? I need me. I need a passion. I need a desire, and I need some tech. So $500 in a laptop.
Okay, so let's back up on that. What in your life, other than the guidance of your parents, instilled that type of that's audacity.
Mm-hmm.
What gave you the audacity 25 years ago at a very young age to say, all I need is a laptop and a few shekels to get this business going? Like, that's a lot of confidence. What led to that level of confidence?
Well, now we're going to take it back many, many years ago.
Let's go.
So growing up in a household where my dad immigrated from Greece at the age of 12 by himself, not knowing any English at all, and immigrating to the United States in order to help support his family back in the village.
So you're sending them all the money back?
Yes, at 12 years old. So when you're growing up in a household where you're seeing this determination, this grit, this passion, in order to support, to do more than what perhaps your, initial beliefs or limits may have prevented you from doing, was a big part of it. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? The only regret that you have is not trying. So if you are if you're not gonna try, and then years from that point, you're gonna say, well, what if? That is the biggest regret that you'll have. Not that you tried and you failed. It's that that you didn't try at all.
Yeah.
So just growing up in that, and then seeing my dad as an entrepreneurial, growing and expanding his business, I just knew, like, what was the worst thing that could happen? Like, if you think about it, what's the worst thing? I'd fail and I'd learn, it'd be a good experience. So that, for me, just like seeing that growing up, that's what I grew up in. And it was simple.
So when you compared it to a 12-year-old coming from across the world
and
didn't
English.
speak English, right? And how much money did he have on him when he got here? Probably $5.
Probably not. I mean,
this is what, 50s, 40s?
Yeah, 1954.
I mean, that's just that's unheard of. So he comes here on a boat. He gets these little side jobs. He's making, he's freelancing, right?
Yeah.
He's making, and then so when does he open up his first business?
It must have been in the 70s. So when my dad came here, he actually he was in Knoxville, Tennessee. He had an uncle that was in Knoxville, Tennessee. It wasn't even side gigs. He was just working as a dishwasher at a restaurant, not knowing English. The year after the first year, he actually got admitted to school, and he's 13 years old at this point.
In kindergarten.
Kindergarten, because he didn't know English. So, and so then in the 1970s, my dad came here to Chicago, and then started opening up restaurants. He opened a number of restaurants over the years, and again, just seeing that. I mean, entrepreneurial. But my dad never wanted me to do the restaurant side of it. He's like, look, you guys need to go to school. We want you to do more, and for me and my sister, and that was something that was important. But it actually, when I started at $500 on a laptop, it does sound like you're like, oh my God, this is. How did you do that? At the time,
you don't know any better.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't a big deal. It was like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah. It's interesting because when you look back, that's probably the only time you look back and go, man, I was crazy. Like, to think that I could start a business with $500 on a laptop. But in the moment, you were like, yeah, let's go. Yeah. I'm doing this.
Yeah. So my first client was, for Andrew, who works here. He's my COO. He was my first client in 2000.
That's crazy.
I was providing consulting services at the time. It was just me. I didn't have a team behind me. And he was my first client. He was doing a mainframe migration into a more modern server. He had no idea how to do that. They had to get it done very quickly. And I met him through an instructor who was actually teaching a Microsoft course, who said, hey, Andrew had asked him, he's like, do you know anybody who might be able to do this? He's like, I got the perfect person. And he introduced us. And then since then, we did the migration in a matter of a weekend. It was something that we were supporting them for a number of years. They actually changed hands and went through some transitional business-related things within their business. But yeah, in 2010, he joined our team as initially as an account manager, grew into VP of operations, and now is our COO.
I love it. So you were a tech guru before you were a business mind, right? You kind of like, you had the chops. You were a doer.
Look, it's, tech, I started off with the tech side of it, but growing up in the restaurant business and seeing my dad operating and managing, I was working in the restaurants. Yeah. So on the weekends, I'd go to the restaurant. On school breaks, I'd be at the restaurant. On holidays, I'd be at the restaurant. So, like, for me, just seeing my dad in that authoritative type position where he's there and managing and orchestrating, that's something that I was able to really absorb and learn from him on how he was doing things. Yes, his approach wasn't always the approach that I would take. Yeah. It's a different industry. I don't think people would like if I was operating this business specifically that way. But yeah, I mean, it's I did start off with tech. The management and operation side of it. It was just part of normal kind of operations for me.
That's interesting because most entrepreneurs, right, they're technical experts, and the hardest part for them is to learn the CEO part. But because you came up with that type of leadership, it was ingrained in you, so it was a little bit more natural that you were kind of growing both sides at the same time.
Yeah, it felt, yes, absolutely. So just to get back to we went off on a little bit of a tangent here.
Why EMPIST?
Yeah, very important. So when I started the business back in 2000, it's just me. Just look back in Wayback Machine and look at in 2000. It's just me, $500 a laptop. I'm like, I need a company name. I'm not going to call it like John Kampas's tech company. I'm like, everybody's calling it like, especially from the restaurant side, everybody's like, oh, Nick's Gyros or like, Nick's fast food. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to call it my name. So I'm like, I need to come up with a name. So I start researching it, and I come up with Digerati. So Digerati means people well-versed in computers and technology. It's a Latin word, and that's what it means. It's derived from people well-versed in computers and technology, which is Digerati. So I started off, I create my own logo. It's just me. I have, I cannot design much. You say like, I won't take any credit of the website or what's happened here because my creative side of
smart people hire people smarter than to do the things that they're not great at, right?
And I am not good. I will be the first person to admit. So I create this logo, and this is before AI and everything. You can create a logo in a matter of seconds. So I create this logo, and now it's me. It's Digerati. So in about 2008, 2009, I actually wanted to rebrand. I'm like, I started adding staff. In about like 2003, I started adding staff, and I looked at it and I said, well, if I'm going to be kind of just people well-versed in computers and technology, and my vision is to create a much more global brand, is that potentially the name going to be some type of constraint or impact that's going to prevent me from being able to position the company more as like a global brand where it's not just, kind of, for lack of a better way of saying it, just pigeonholed in like technology. Yeah. But like, what if it's more of like business process and automations and transformation? I want it to be a little bit more. So in 2008, I'm like, I want to rebrand the company. And then as like things happen, I mean, there's different priorities.
2008 as well. Yes, not a great year.
Yeah, financial crisis. I mean, housing.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, housing. But so I looked at it, and at the time I registered the domain name EMPIST. And so then fast forward, a bunch of things are occurring. We're growing the business. We're taking on a lot more opportunities. We're creating new, we're growing the team significantly. And then I look at it in 2015, we acquire a company. So we acquire a company out of 1871. And what ended up happening at the time when we made this acquisition, we actually had this identity crisis internally. Like we had this identity crisis. We're like the Digerati folks, we're the Lumia folks. And people were operating in separate silos, the Digerati folks and the Lumia folks. And I'm like, we can't be operating. We have one mission, one vision as a company. So if we have this internal identity crisis, I can only imagine what it looks like externally.
You lose the locker room, you lose games.
Absolutely. So I look at it and I say, it's time.
Yeah.
So in 2017, I rebranded the company to EMPIST. The beauty of it was that now I had an entire team, marketing and design team, that can help actually build the brand properly. Mm-hmm. And so EMPIST is derived from the Greek word trust. So what it means, the Greek word is embistosini. So EMPIST is embistosini in Greek, and it's trust. In the name, back in 2008 when I registered it, like I was on the fence, is this going to be the right name? Is this what we're going to do? But over the years, it became so obvious that without trust, there is no partnership relationship, internally or externally. If you do not have trust, if that goes, you don't have a relationship. So it is so fitting for the organization.
Yeah.
EMPIST is derived from the Greek word trust, and that's where it came from. You know, the logo itself.
A core value is in the name.
Absolutely. We are trustworthy. One of our core values is we are trustworthy. And then the 4 pillars, if you look at just the logo itself, represents different business units within the organization of the services that we deliver to the customers. And if you actually flip the symbol over, it's actually 2 hands coming together.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a lot of thought going into that.
Yeah, so this is not something that I will take credit for, the logo.
Okay, so, John, we initially met at a networking event. I had the pleasure of interviewing you on that event, and what I discovered that day was your 25-year anniversary. Your team had surprised you with a pair of Jordans. You were a Jordan fiend.
Yes.
You got tons of pairs, and I don't know how in the world they're able to get them because you wear a size 16 shoe. You don't need laces. You need a sail with those things. But what I was immediately intrigued by was not only the conversation that I had with you and the light in your eye and just the light that you have, like you just kind of shine, right? But every one of your team members afterwards came up, thanked me, said, "Hey, great job, that was fantastic." Like there's a cultural thing that is happening within EMPIST that is really endearing. It's really touching. So then we decided that we were going to find a way to collaborate a little bit more, and I came back and met more of the team, immediately welcomed into the building, walk around the organization. Everyone's standing up, right? They're chattering. There's great energy in here. And then I meet the marketing team, and it's like, holy cow, I met my match. They have more energy than I have, which I didn't know that was possible unless you like fed them Red Bull before I got here. But
That's exactly what we
did. The energy was on fire. So what I start to think is like you took that bad experience where you were siloed in 2 different sides, and you got a chance to see what happens when you lose control of the brand and the brand identity and the culture by design. And the counter of that, the recovery, through your analysis of watching that, was you went the full other direction of an unbelievable brand mission. Where everyone has clear defined core values. They have a clear understanding of the mission, and they are swagged out. So my question then is like, when did the branding thing really click to you where you were like, you know what, if we really are going to live this out, we need to be walking billboards. We need to talk the same. We need to sound the same. We need to have the same energy. Like we need to carry this out. When did that kind of click for you?
That's a great question. I mean, I can't say that it was just, an instance or something that occurred in history. My philosophy around it is that you should rep your favorite brand. So instead of being swagged out with your favorite sports team, okay, yes, the Bears and everything,
sure,
everybody's going to be wearing Bears this Saturday.
Let's
I
go.
mean, come on. Everybody's going to be wearing Bears this Saturday, at least in Chicago.
Hopefully we're wearing Bears in February.
Yes, hopefully. So, but when you look at it and you're repping, designer brands, what influence do you have over that brand? Like what?
Yeah.
Do you have any association with a brand?
It creates no revenue for you.
Creates 0 revenue for you, 0 attachment. Yeah, it might look good, but what if you're actually repping the brand that you are directly involved in supporting and growing and making it an overall success? So like brand for me, and when I look at just the brand and people swagged out, yes, everybody when they start, they get swag. Every time we get new shipments of swag, we have swag. We have gamification where people get rewards and bucks where they can buy more swag.
Yeah.
We're not selling any of this stuff to the team. We want our team to feel, not because they're being forced to wear it, but they really feel it at their core. I'm going to rep my favorite brand. Mm-hmm. So at no point in time will you ever see me not rep EMPIST.
That's a fact. I have not.
Yes.
Even when you were wearing like a designer sport coat
Yes.
at your whiskey and magician night, which was awesome. You were wearing a kick-ass blazer, but you were still rocking that shirt underneath
Yes.
that said EMPIST.
EMPIST is it's something that I wear every day. I mean, I'm wearing socks. I'm wearing EMPIST. I'm not wearing an EMPIST underwear.
Yeah.
But
Yet.
yes. But our team has really talked about that too.
Yeah.
So, but look, just looking at the team, it builds when you're on a team for sports team.
Mm-hmm.
I relate to sports a lot.
Me too.
Are they wearing different jerseys?
Oh, they're all wearing the same thing. And by the way, when you see them on practice day on a Wednesday, they're wearing the logo.
They're on the press conference.
Always wearing the logo.
They're wearing the logo. So for me, I want to make that stuff accessible to everybody. We're not forcing it upon everybody, but when somebody is willing to rep a brand, and it's their favorite brand, then what else are they doing for the business that's helping promote and grow that business? So when you really get behind the brand, you want to win with the brand, and that is just an indication for me that people are fully behind growing this business and fulfilling the mission and vision of the company.
So beyond that, what are some of the things, you said gamification, what are some of the things that you guys are doing culturally? Because this is, you're here every day.
Yeah.
So to you, it's become, this is life, right? And it's so there is you could take that for granted. I don't think that you do, but you could when you become desensitized to even things that are good. You can become desensitized to it. But this is not natural. This is different. This is very unique. And by the way, you can't have a culture that with this much pride if the work isn't good. Mm-hmm. Because if the phone calls and the customer service calls coming in are saying, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I'm not repping that brand.
Yeah.
So to have 100+ people repping the brand daily tells me that the calls coming in are like, hey, everything's cool. This is really good. You guys are the best. Otherwise, people wouldn't rep it. So how are you creating that incentive? What is some of the feedback and the conversation that's happening internally? How is the team taking that internal feeling out to the marketplace?
Great question. So as far as the brand goes itself, it's, I have this philosophy, best known beats best. But if best known beats best, but if the best known is the best, then it's a game changer. So that's where we're striving to be. We want to be best known and the best, because if you are the best product but nobody knows about you, what does it matter? Like, nobody knows about you. If you're a sandwich shop and you got the best sandwiches on the corner and nobody knows about you, well, you're the best kept secret. So best known beats best, but our philosophy and our goal is to be best known and be the best. So when I look at that, and that's from top down, bottom up, left and right side, when we are all promoting that internally, it builds this, when I look at the culture, I don't look at the culture as, you walk around the room, there's cool things around the office. We got a game room. We do Thursdays.
That's not culture, though. That's just nice to have.
Yeah, that's nice to have.
Yeah.
But you truly build a culture when anybody within this business can look left, they can look right, they can look behind them or forward, and know that those people are also committed to the mission and vision of the company, and they will do everything possible in order to fulfill that for the business and for themselves and for the rest of the team. So then you build this bond amongst the team. The team really looks at themselves, and, you look at, I have a partner. I have partners within this business.
Ride or dies.
Ride or dies. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
It is work hard, play hard, and we look at it and we say, how do we actually how do we continue to elevate what we're doing? Because we want to elevate every day. We don't want to stay stagnant. We don't want to stay just status quo. It's about every day, how do we push ourselves more in order to make us better? And that, I think, just, it spreads out to the team, and the team comes in and they say, look, I need to deliver the best possible service, not just to my clients, not just to the clients that I'm supporting, but also my internal team, so that I can establish a high confidence level for everybody within this business that we are delivering the best service possible.
I love it. Okay, by the way, it's www.empist.com. That's EMPIST.com. You have to check that out. Play along, folks. What are we doing here? Play along. Maybe, you'll get a T-shirt at some point if you keep, liking and commenting and subscribing. You want to rock that brand. Represent EMPIST. So I know I'm sure going to. You just brought a great point up, though. You see a lot of businesses out there that have the best product or service, but nobody knows who the hell they are. And that's a real challenge. And then you see companies that are essentially a marketing company that happens to sell hamburgers or happens to sell, and the product is not very good. So the idea of the best being the most well-known is brilliant, and more companies need to do that. What's the shame of it, though, is when you see a lot of small to mid-sized companies, the folks that you are servicing, that's probably their biggest challenge is they're trusted, but they're not known and liked yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me to, why are we doing a podcast? Well, there might be the answer, but there's more answers to that. Like when we talked about this, why is the podcast important to you? Why are we relaunching this? And what type of brand experience are you wanting to create for guests that are coming on?
Well, great question, John. I mean, so we have a lot around brand already. But as I mentioned earlier, it's about how do we elevate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything that we do, how can we make it 10% better? How can we do what we're doing, whether it's delivering a service to a client or even the podcast? How do we make it better? So we need to continue to evolve and evaluate elevate, because if you don't, you become stagnant and everybody else passes you by. And then once the others catch that speed, it's hard to get back into that race. So for me, and I look at the podcast is a great opportunity, a fantastic opportunity to educate, to build awareness, to help businesses grow, to help them fulfill their mission and vision as a company, to address technology concerns. There are so many things that this podcast is designed to do. It isn't just it's going to establish a stronger brand.
It'll create content, but it's so much deeper than that.
It's so much deeper. When I can walk down the street or be at a Cubs game and someone is telling me that they saw the podcast and how it helped their business, that's amazing for me. Like that is so the value of that. It didn't result in any type of monetary value for me, but knowing that it had some type of impact on a business where they learned something new, they were able to address a problem that they had in their business because of the content of the podcast. That's a great feeling. Yeah. That's a great feeling, and that's paying it forward for others. So yes, over the last 25 years, I'm not done yet though. So
you're only 30, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I still have this huge career ahead of me. I mean, we are working on so many different things. But if I could take those experiences over the last 25 years and help bring them to the surface for others who may just be getting started, maybe facing some challenges with their personnel, the business, their clients, and help them address those situations, that's a big impact for me.
That's some godly work. You are a man of faith. Do you feel like you've been touched by God? I feel like you got the light in you. Things work out for people that, work hard and take the time to educate themselves. But there's also, it seems to me that the way that you carry yourself and you live your life, that there's maybe some blessings that have happened for you as well.
Look, faith is very important to me and religion is very important to me. It's all God's plan.
Yeah.
So, I'm just here fulfilling a mission, and I'm doing the best that I can, and enjoying it along the way.
And the cool part is, because of that, you now are, to your point, is you want to help other people to be able to have the success that you've had, whether they be in the company or small business or mid-sized businesses that potentially could come on here and tell their story. And you could tap into their thought leadership and help to promote their brand.
Absolutely.
While creating some great content. I mean, that's that pay it forward kind of mindset.
Yeah, having other guests in the studio that are bringing their perspective on their industries that they're specialized in and helping other businesses as well with the knowledge that they have, it's amazing. I mean, it's something that we're really excited about doing, and I can't wait to see all the impact that we're having.
It's going to be tremendous. So here's the deal, right? We've talked now about your origin story. We've talked about who you are as a man, the upbringing, the family. Let's get to know a little bit about what you think. The world of technology is going faster than it's ever gone before. I mean, what we thought was amazing in 2020 feels like it's historic now. It's like caveman days. I mean, it's amazing how fast technology is moving. Now, that is an amazing thing on some cases because there's good sides to technology, but there's also a lot of bad actors out there, which has probably put a lot of pressure on you and folks in the industry to protect businesses. So talk to us a little bit about, let's start here. What are your thoughts on AI?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
I mean, it's interesting because there's so much great to it, but is it scary to you like it is to me? Because I'm not a technology guy. So typically, when you don't know something well, it's scary just out of the fact that you don't know it well enough. But you are an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to get your perspective, like how we look.
So, okay, so it is a very loaded question, and I'm going to do my best to answer it. When there's a product, as we all know, ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, when it released, let's say roughly 3 years ago, it has now become the product that most people know as it relates to AI, and they have 700 million active users per week. 700 million users are using ChatGPT on a weekly basis. Now, what's scary about it is that most people only know AI, that AI can help them draft an email, can help them book a vacation, can help them with ideas, or even replacing the traditional Google search.
Yeah.
The truth is AI has been in industry for quite some time. But when ChatGPT released, OpenAI released ChatGPT, and they released it for the consumer, and just seeing the adoption of how quickly it is growing, it's here. It's gonna stay. It's creating a lot of challenges for businesses for a number of reasons, which I'll get into. But I think AI is good. I think that used properly, not just for those, okay, yeah, you can draft an email, give me some, I got some brain fog, I want to draft create an article. Those things will continue. But the way that AI is transforming now and how businesses can really utilize it is that how can they actually take a lot of that mundane type work that they had within their businesses, and how can they leverage AI, not necessarily to replace. At times it may result in replace, but the big advantage is velocity.
Yeah.
Doing things faster, being able to deliver things faster for your business, for your clients, utilizing it to make those types of decisions where it would normally take someone an hour to do, and now you're getting it done in a minute. If you're able to free up that time, how much more can you do? So the velocity is a big advantage for businesses. But with every good technology, it's also used for bad. So on the bad side of it is bad actors are using AI in order to automate attacks. I mean, there was a nation state. I mean, there was a attack recently in the last 2 months that was actually conducted entirely by an AI agent. An AI agent is essentially can be programmed as a person, performing actions as a person is doing, and the attack was fully automated and launched by an AI agent.
It's unbelievable.
Exactly. So if you can actually have an AI agent where you don't need to train, you don't need to onboard, and you can actually give it a knowledge base of expert level knowledge base, how much more can you do and how much quicker can you do it? But yes, it is being used by bad actors as well. It's very exciting. I think we're living in a time right now where AI used properly can really help businesses grow, can really help businesses be more profitable, can help businesses expand very rapidly, but there's security concerns around it. There's privacy concerns around it, how it's being utilized. So it's really about looking at it and establishing a good foundation and a plan around it that can then be used for good purposes. But the bad actor side of it actually does have a number of concerns around it and how it's being used and being weaponized. With every good technology, this happens.
Yeah.
It could be used for good, but also bad.
So we come back to the situation that it's not the technology, it's the people.
Yeah, it is.
People need a moral compass.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, AI is going to have a big impact on, I don't even want to get on the humanity side of like what it's going to do. I mean, it's growing so rapidly.
It's learning so fast.
It's growing. I mean, I can't even explain or describe how quickly it is growing. I think that it's going to impact businesses. It's going to impact professionals in the future. There's going to be, it may eliminate some jobs in certain types of careers. So I think that you just need to embrace the technology and kind of look at how you can be more of an orchestrator of utilizing technology for good purposes to help businesses grow and be very strategic around it. And if you do that, where you can be more of that orchestrator, you can orchestrate. You don't need to be the writer of something. You could be the editor. Be the editor. Put the editor hat on.
Yeah.
I don't need to write everything entirely, but if I'm going to embrace and be more of that editor role and more of an orchestrator role, businesses, that's in big demand for businesses, and I think that's a great opportunity.
So small to mid-sized companies, that's your sweet spot. You want to provide trustworthy, unbelievable service for them. What should they be looking out for now and in the future, different than even 3 or 4 years ago, where maybe they're kind of stuck there, like everything's fine, we're all good, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, you're not all good, like technology's advancing, so the way you're set up was good for 3 years ago, but it's not going to be good for next year or the year after that, so you need to maybe do an analysis of your IT. Should a company do an analysis of their IT every 6 months, a year? Like, how often should they do that?
Look, I don't even look at it as an analysis of IT. It's more of an analysis of operations, because when you look at, the IT piece of it, it's expanded far beyond just a guy under a desk plugging in cables. There is such a reliance on IT. It's literally touching every aspect of the business. So my recommendation is businesses should really be looking at how they're operating holistically as a whole within their business and seeing how they can actually look at how they can leverage technology in order to fulfill whatever, again, mission, vision, and goals that they have. If they're not achieving the goals that they've set forth, everybody's planning for plan for 2026. They sat down, 2026 is going to be our best year ever. We're going to crush it. How? Doing the same thing that you did over and over again?
Won't happen.
It won't happen. Yeah, you may get some traction. Maybe you'll grow a couple percentage points. Maybe you'll keep things status quo.
But the cost of doing business went up, so you really just probably went backwards.
Exactly. So, just looking at the business and having more of a discussion. This isn't a technology discussion. This is more of a business discussion that needs to be had with IT at the table.
Yeah.
That can help those businesses achieve what they desire. So
you're saying don't call EMPIST at the point of a challenge. We need to be in the strategy meeting with you.
That's when we look at the hundreds of clients that we support, the most effective that we've been with clients, where our clients are seeing the most value and the most return on investment for them is when we have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
If we are looked at,
that's a true partnership.
If we are looked at and being considered as just that reactive type role, yes, we're achieving what maybe the client needed us to do at the time, but we're not fulfilling. Our mission as a business is to fuel businesses with the technology they need to succeed. So I can't fuel a business with the technology they need to succeed if they're just calling me when something's broke.
Yeah.
And I
to put out a fire.
To put out a fire.
Yeah.
So yes, the most valuable and the most value for our clients is when we are able to deliver full strategy alignment to help them achieve their goals.
There you go. So all of those things running in a parallel is going to free up the C-suite to be able to continue to do what they need to do, which is build shareholder value, crank that revenue up, add the right staff on, right?
Yeah.
And so you're kind of freeing them up, which is why you're saying, hey, seat at the table. Let's throw some blocks for you so you can go score some touchdowns, if I could use a sports analogy, right? That's kind of the process.
Well, think about it. I mean, if we're working with let's say a law firm, the partners of the law firm probably don't have too much understanding about what's happening in technology.
Why would they?
Yeah, I mean,
a general knowledge.
Yeah, we don't need them to know that. I mean, they should stay focused on what they do best, which is providing legal services, and then partner with organizations who do what they do best in providing whatever service that is. So yes, it frees up a lot of time, but then when you look at it, it's the ROI on it, the return on investment for businesses that fully embrace that and understand what the role that we can play within with that organization and fully embrace and support that. It's a game changer for them, because we do a gap analysis. We look at, okay, we start with you today. Where are you going to be in the future? Let's say 2 or 3 years from now. That gap, we need to fulfill that gap and then help that business grow. So, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so 25 years of success, hundreds of clients service, partnering with them, built a fantastic team. We're here now in 2026. Where are we going, John? What's the vision? What's the BHAG?
Look, world domination.
Let's go. Hey, that was a good subject line, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, look, we have some very aggressive goals this year. What we've done in the past that's in the past. So whatever successes, failures, wins, losses, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why you've probably heard the analogy, the rearview mirror is much smaller than the windshield.
Yeah.
Whatever we accomplished last year is behind us. Yes, there are experiences, there are things that, we're very happy about. There are things that maybe we could have done better, but that's all behind us. So this year is going to be our best year ever. We've already established a plan around it. We need to execute at every cylinder. When I say executing at every cylinder, you can't have a 8-cylinder car and only operate on 4.
No lag.
Yeah, no lag. So we are all operating, we are all committed in order to achieving everything that we want to achieve for the business. It's going to be our best year ever. There's going to be a lot of new technology and a lot of new platforms, a lot of ways that we are going to create a more effortless experience for our clients to deliver high value, low effort experiences at every touch point. That is a big thing that we're working on. Why? Because if you got to put in high effort to get high value or potentially even low value, how happy are you? Yeah, you might be okay, because you actually got that high value. But what happens when you actually have to put high effort and you get low value? You're like, man, I have 1,000,001 things to do on a daily basis. I'm putting all of this effort in and I'm getting low value. But what if you can put in low effort and get high value? That, to me, would build true loyalty within the business. It isn't about under-promising, over-delivering. It's about building a low-effort, high-value experience, and that is something that we are truly committed to doing this year and into the future, to make it low-effort, high-value, to get exactly what a client needs, and that's going to build a tremendous year for us.
That's an amazing brand promise, and that starts from the inside out. Right, so the first thing is you got to get everyone internally on board with that. What's happened to get everyone?
Yeah.
What did you do to get everyone bought into that? Because I feel that vibe when I walk in here. Like there's some people on a mission here.
Look, the first thing is it isn't just one. We're very transparent. We have to communicate. So it's about getting everybody to fully understand. It isn't that transparency is huge, but the way it starts is creating a low-effort, high-value experience for our team.
So they want to do it for your clients.
Exactly. So that's where it's all started.
Out.
So low-effort, high-value. How do we improve processes? How do we improve systems? How do we improve the day in the life of an EMPIST employee today, where they can see that and say, wow, the way I used to do it, it was high effort, low value. Or maybe it was high effort, high value. But it was still high effort.
Yeah.
But now if I can create this experience internally where everything that you need to do is going to be a low effort, high value experience, why would you not want to do the same thing for a client?
And we want to make it low effort, and then it's on the employee to decide whether or not they want to go high effort and crank it up to the next level. Because I've always been taught that you do the job before you get the job. There's a lot of people in there right now that are working, and part of their goal is to get a promotion this year. And some of that means that they might need to stay at the high level of effort, even though you're going to make it a low effort role. They need to stay at that high effort and earn that next jump, right? So now that transitions to the outside. What can your clients, current and perspective. And if you're listening right now and you haven't gone to the website and filled out the little thing for a demo, what are we doing here, folks? Come on. We've given you the case. I digress. What can you tell the folks that are watching this that you're going to offer to them on the outside that is going to be a game changer for them?
Look, the platforms that we've developed for our clients in order to engage with EMPIST is we've developed a unified platform for our clients in order to get that exact experience, low effort, high value. So these are the things. It isn't, again, when we look at the IT piece of it, it isn't this tech. We're not offering tech. It isn't just tech solutions. It's about offering business solutions that leverage technology. So the platforms that we've developed for our clients today are getting these platforms that are low effort, high value. So by doing so, it isn't that we don't want our clients to engage with us. It isn't that we don't want our clients to call us.
Yeah.
But we want to put those touch points on where we can drive a much higher value experience. Like you said, it isn't just, okay, low effort, high value, and then not operate at high effort. Because if you can operate at high effort, then you could do more. There's more velocity. So this is what our clients are getting. They're getting a unified platform of how they can operate and manage their technology solutions, help their businesses grow, and ultimately, for us to deliver exactly what they need.
Yeah. So you're a brand helping brands build their brand. You just happen to be using technology as the vehicle to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just an amazing thing. So I'm really curious what the expectation is for upcoming episodes. What's in the plans? What's in the works? We know that we're going to be bringing on guests. Ideally, if you could paint a picture for our audience of what to expect for upcoming episodes, what is in the vision right now?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the guests and having other guests who, business owners, executives, subject matter experts in technology, the big thing is knowledge. It's going to be knowledge that we're sharing to help those businesses. It is catered all to B2B. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's, a business podcast. It's about being able to help them with the knowledge that they need to succeed. And, this is something that they're really going to get. We're going to have some exciting episodes. We're going to have a lot of different guests that are in here. We'll also bring in special appearances from other EMPIST
Key staff members, man.
Key staff, very important.
Yeah.
Look, whatever's been accomplished at EMPIST is not because of me, to be very clear. It's because of the collective efforts of our team.
Yeah.
So we have key staff members who are also delivering. Yes, am I driving the ship? Yeah, but look, I'm very understanding.
But you're a steward leader. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting in front of you. Like, I noticed that. Mm-hmm. Like, as this process has been set up, you have not been terribly involved in like all of the email chain going back and forth. You're allowing your talent to be talented and to do the things that they're hired to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's delegation.
Yeah.
If I have to be involved in everything, then self-admittedly, I become the choke point. Mm. You become the choke point. So you have to be able to delegate. As painful as it is in the beginning, where you're like, well, I can just do it. Oh, forget it. I'll get it done. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll do it.
Boy, you sweep the legs out of people when you do that.
Oh, absolutely. So when you can actually encourage people and give them an opportunity, like I was speaking with one of our team members today, and I gave him a pretty substantial task that historically has been my responsibility solely. And he's been working on this for the last 3 months in order the proper evaluation so that he can make a proposal internally based on a pretty big decision that we need to move forward with. And he presented this information to me today. And he was so excited. He had everything outlined. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? I says, well, it's clear based on your analysis what we should do. And I just saw it in his eyes. Like
empowerment. When
I said that to him, where he thought that, oh, now it's going to go through John needs. Mm-hmm. Yes, I want to see it, absolutely. But how can he's gone through this full analysis. He's done due diligence, done demos, everything.
Put his heart into it.
Put his heart in. He presented it. And then when the meeting ended, I said, well, it's clear what we're going to do. And he's like, well, what's that? I said, what you recommend. And
Yeah.
when you do that versus sweeping their legs out from under them and saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm not sure. That creates a bad situation. And then when you want to get them involved in the future, it becomes even more difficult.
I'd like to be in the room when he goes home to the significant other, whomever that is, and they say, how was work today?
Yeah.
That
Fantastic.
answer is going to be stellar. That needs to be on video.
Yeah. But
Absolutely
delegation is huge. Delegation and empowering others, empowerment, and empowering them to do, things that you may not be capable of doing, and understand when you're a choke point. And yeah, this room, like you said earlier, I mean, the team put it together.
Yeah.
I can take zero credit for it. Zero credit for it.
Beautiful.
They did a fantastic job. And this is just one of the many amazing things that our teams are doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if that gives you any indication.
How you do one thing is an indication of how you do everything.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right, so I want you also to understand that this podcast is going to be entertainment first. So, yes, you are going to get educated. Yes, you are going to get informed, and you might even be influenced a little bit. But the first thing that we are going to do is to make sure that there is energy and excitement and entertainment here. We hope that you've enjoyed John's story. It's absolutely a brilliant one, and there's much more to come. But if you want to be a guest on the Tech 1-2 podcast powered by EMPIST, please reach out to us and let us know. Put your name in the comments below. Send us an email. If you're a local Chicagoland business owner and you'd like to come on and promote your brand, this is a great place for you to do it. We're going to be pushing out this content on multiple social media channels. And by the way, if you're not following EMPIST on LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, they're putting out content daily. I mean, they are stroking the algorithms. The marketing team knows what they're doing. So you're going to see a lot of entertaining content there that is also very informative. There was an amazing piece that was put out the other day about how emojis that are put over the faces of children on a post, that bad actors can actually move that emoji and still see the face of the child and do some crazy things. So you're not just going to get your everyday static graphic type of content here. They're doing video content that is going out that is really describing in detail some of the key helpful tips you should be considering on a regular basis. So I can't say enough for what the team is doing. Final thought, John. What is the final thought that you'd like to get across to the audience? I know you're fired up from this. I am. You're fired up for the company. You got another 25 years to focus on here as you move into this next year. What's on your mind?
As it relates just to the podcast,
just anything, just rip it off. Final thought. What do you want to tell What do you want to tell people?
Look, 2026 is going to be an amazing year, not just for EMPIST, but for all businesses that embrace technology and how they look at their businesses. They need to really look at how they operate today, how they can transform their businesses to position themselves for a much greater success for the years to come. So yes, 25 years at a minimum that we're going to be doing this. As you know, we're building a generational business. That's ultimately where we're looking to go with the business. But I'm very excited, super pumped about the podcast. I'm super pumped about what we're going to accomplish in 2026. Super pumped about having other guests in this podcast with me, talking about chopping it up, going through it, having some tequila, drinking. Having a drink in the podcast as well, sharing knowledge, making it entertaining.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I am so glad that we're operating this type of business in this industry this year.
It's like all
because there's so much that's happening. I am so excited about the things that we're going to accomplish. So many transformations that we're going to have for clients worldwide, folks. Yes. Yeah, I didn't say Chicagoland.
Yeah, there's an office in Greece.
Yes.
They can touch you anywhere in the world. They can get to you.
Yes. World domination is something that we are working on. We are going to.
Should we do the pinky? Like
the Austin Powers?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, world domination, that is ultimately, we want to be number one in the world and what we're working on. So very excited about being able to do it, being very excited about being able to share our messages and messaging from the podcast as well as many other channels like you mentioned, and just super pumped and excited about this year and the future to come.
Nailed it. That is John Kampas. I am John Morris. This is the Tech 1-2 podcast powered by EMPIST. You know what it is.
Let's go.
Cheers.